Today we are going to be replacing an inner derailleur cage. So I was on a ride about a month ago and a branch went right in here and spread it all apart. Bit of a pain in the butt while I was out there. Managed to figure out a way to close it in so I could get back, but ultimately it did put a pretty good bend in the cage. The chain kept on just coming off the tension pulley. And basically went out there, found a new cage, and decided to also change out the pulley since this one down here is really old and worn out and basically needs to be changed as well. So that's what we will be doing. This is an easy job. We do not need many tools at all. So first thing you're going to need is the right derailleur cage. Or at least a plate for your derailleur cage, right? They're all different essentially. So this is an M9000 inner cage. Cost me, I think, 11 bucks. Whereas the outer cage, that's actually pretty expensive and very hard to find a GS version of the outer cage for an M9000. So since I decided to change my pulleys as well, went out and got a pulley set, found a discount on these, reasonable price. Got those. So in my case, I will be needing 2 Allen keys. Typically you will only need a 3.5 millimeter, but because this is an aftermarket tension pulley, it came with its own screw that I ended up using. I'm also going to need a 2.5 millimeter, right? Now, a little bit of grease, just a little bit, and you're absolutely going to be needing Loctite 243, all right? And some towels, basically. So, next up, let's start taking things apart. So first things first, we will be taking out the derailleur cage, or at least the plate, the inner plate, right? So I'll start off with the top, 3 millimeter Allen, take the bolt. You'll notice this bolt has an indentation in the middle, right? So we'll put that there. There goes the actual guide pulley. Take this guy, put them on the side for now. Let's throw them over here. Now let's grab my 2.5 millimeter, flip them over, and take out the bottom. Okay. Now in my case, the bottom is a different bolt because it was an aftermarket bolt. Put that guy over there. And that is the aftermarket. It was an old K&C. It's been there for years, actually. It's done a really good job, but it's definitely worn out. So I will be replacing him, and this is the old plate, right? Now it was bent pretty bad down here. It was pretty warped. You can still see it's slightly warped. So, but we don't need them anymore because we bought a new one. So just in case you need the part number for an inner plate for an M9000 GS. GSs are actually hard to find, very hard to find. The SGSs are everywhere. So that is the part number that you would need. In this case, if you have a different derailleur, just make sure you get the right plates. Put that on the side, right? Now if you look at this guy, I mean, hard to really tell, but yeah, he's definitely a little bit straighter. Let's put them next to each other out of curiosity. And there is a bit of a warp on this side over here. I don't know if it's noticeable in camera, but it's okay. We're replacing the inside. It's pretty eaten up too, right? Yep, look at that. Because like I said, the chain kept on slipping off after that branch went through it. So those are all garbage. Now, as we got the pulleys, 2 pulleys. You got your guide pulley and you got your tension pulley. Guide pulley goes on top, tension pulley goes on the bottom, basically, right? Now, there's a specific way for Shimano's pulleys to install them. You have letters and an arrow on one side only, right? So I don't know how well you can see that over here, but ultimately there's the letters and the arrow. And there's the letters in the arrow. And the arrow tells you which direction the pulley needs to turn, right? So it needs to turn with the chain. So when you're pedaling, your chain is going counterclockwise, basically. So if we look at the bottom, the chain would be coming this way and up that way when pedaling, right? So you're pedaling this way, chain's coming that way. So the arrow says pulley needs to go this way. So obviously we would not install this pulley with the letters facing on the outside. In order for it to go counterclockwise, we'd have to install it with the letters facing on the inside towards the wheel. The wheel's over here. So, nutshell, quick reference, the letters on Shimano pulleys face the wheel, right? Whereas this beveled edge faces the outside basically. So it's outside facing, right? So let's get this guy undone. Put them over here. That's one. Watch out, the caps will very easily fall out. Now, one thing you can do is put just a little bit of grease on the inside. I mean, they already put some. I would just put a little bit more, and that's more for moisture purposes, just in case you have to get stuck in a really muddy day, or or you wash your bike. It just adds a little bit more of a barrier. You don't need to go crazy. Again, just add a little bit more of a moisture barrier using grease. Now, I know there's two frames of thought on that one. Some people are like, oh yeah, but you're going to collect dirt. Well, if you keep up with the maintenance on your bike, that shouldn't be an issue. But ultimately, chances are you're going to get your bike way more wet down there, which is going to go into the actual bearings eventually and wash out and mix in with the grease, or mix in dirt and grease, or take out grease and mix in dirt with the inside of the bearings, basically, which is something you don't want, right? So like I said, you don't have to go too crazy over here, just a little bit. Put the caps back on. All right, so next what we are going to do in advance is we are going to put a little bit of Loctite on our threads, because this is what's actually going to hold them in place for long term. We don't want to crank these things down when tightening them. Grease. So we will start with our upper bearing, right? So this is the outside, this is the inside, facing the wheel, right? We want the letters facing the wheel. So if you look over here, there's the letters, there's the arrow, so that goes like this over here, right? So then we'll take our top cage, try and line it best you can, or top cage, the inner cage, grab the bolt for the inner cage, put them in there, and this might be a little bit tricky at first. In my case, I'm going to grab the 3mm, get him started. You know what? I think I got him. Yep. Very good. Nothing fell out, right? Yep. All right. So then we grab the bottom one. Again, look at the lettering. Lettering is on the inside right there, right, with the arrow. Put him in between. The bottom over here, the difference is that the bolt on this guy goes from the outside. Just line them up with the holes. Right. There we go. All right, in my case, I'm going to grab 2mm. All right, we do not want to crank down, right? We're talking about like literally about a Newton meter over here, right? So just finger tight, just a little finger tight. Let the Loctite dry before riding it, because it's the Loctite that's going to hold the bolt in place for these pulleys, right? So again, just a little bit finger tight. You do not want to crank it down. You want to have some kind of, loose spin, like a free spin basically, right? Now I put a little bit of grease in here, so it's not going to freely spin, but the grease is actually going to be good as you're pedaling essentially. So that was pretty much it. Again, just a quick video for beginners out there who might have run into the same issue, especially in the fall time as the leaves fall and branches fall. It's very common to get branches caught up in your spokes and in your derailleur cage like I did. So hopefully this helps you out. If you like the video, please like, subscribe for more videos. If you dislike the video, click dislike, or click it twice, even better. And if you have any comments, feel free to put them below. I will answer them as soon as I get to them, or as soon as I see them. So hope that worked out for you, and we will see you in the next video, which will be a KS dropper post. All right, have a good one. Have a great day. Bye.